There are designated forums for discussion and engagement. But there are political differences between the industrialized nations and the less industrialized nations like Nepal. We are just audiences to these political brickbatting, if I may. We have the COP initiative and we have the infamous the Paris Accord, and suddenly US is again pulled out from the Paris Accord. What message does it send to countries like Nepal and with the stakeholders of such brunt degradation in environment? What is your experience? You travel the world all the time and you carry this message and activism on the issue the world over.
It's obviously an enormous affront to the world when President Trump says that, oh, America, which was the one nation which more than any other nation in the world created the climate problem, tell the rest of the world, oh, you sort out the problem we caused. That's completely unacceptable. Fortunately, there are many states, many businesses, many Americans who have a different view. In fact, the vast majority of Americans believe that we should act on climate. So I'm optimistic that these will change. But let me tell you where you find the real forces for change. Last year, I attended at the end of the year 2 main conferences. One was the climate conference in Baku. I went straight from Baku to the Chinese city of Chengdu to meet all the Chinese solar companies. Well, I believe that conference is more substantial for the world because the diplomacy don't really bring any results. The solar companies who come together in Chengdu, they have brought down the price of solar by 90%. The fierce competition between these companies have made solar energy so cheap that any nation, Nepal, that any nation in the world, who switch from fossil fuels to solar, save money. It's not a cost, it's a saving. So the actions of the Chinese solar companies, de facto for the world, is much more important than the diplomatic conferences. And you see, if I may add, a lot of the same now in India. Prime Minister Modi just launched an initiative for 1 crore, 10 million rooftop solar in India. Well, that's enormous. 10 million, that matters. So look to the huge action in China, in India, but also in Europe and other places. And that's where you see the hope for the future.
Even in